The recording about that. And we'll get started and turn the time over to Jolene to share some goodness with us.
Okay. Sorry, I'm making technology, even though I use it all the time, it still makes me nervous because I'm afraid it's not going to work the way I need it to. So be patient as I maneuver through the technological world. Anyway, I'm glad to be here. This subject is a really fun one, cooking with essential oils, but then to bring how some fun summer stuff into it is way cool. And I think that summertime, a lot of people like to explore new things with cooking. And so this is a great timing for that. And then it seems like we have a little bit more time to play around with stuff like this. So we're just going to, I want to just tell you a little bit about me. That I have been sharing essential oils for about 7 years now. The first time I heard about the essential oils, I knew it's exactly what I needed and that I'd been looking for and wanting in my life. So from that very first night, they have been a very steady part of my life and the life of all of my children in all of our homes. I have 6 children, 5 spouses, 27 grandchildren, and every single one of them use these oils in their homes. And I have 3 grandsons that are serving missions for our church in foreign countries. And before they left, their mothers made sure that they put together an essential oil supply for them to take with them overseas. One of them was needing something in New Zealand, so we had to figure out how to get oils over into New Zealand. So it's kind of fun to have that and to know that the things that we're using in our home are impacting generations and people all over the world. So, so simply put, that we love essential oils and the empowerment that it brings to our families. It goes far beyond even just the use of the oils, but the company itself and how they teach us to use them in our home to better our lives and those around us. So today we're going to be talking about different aspects of cooking with them. But to start with, so I'm just going to start sharing my screen. I did try this to make sure it worked.
We see lots of quilts, lots of little screenshots of good things.
There
we go.
Okay. The only thing that I'm not going to be able to see is if someone's jumping into the class while I'm talking.
So I notice if there's a little 3 dots on the bottom right hand corner for me, I click play a sound if somebody enters.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Tiny ding. So hopefully that'll help.
Okay, and do you see pictures of you guys on here?
Yep, we're down the right side on my screen.
Okay, I'll try to make it so it doesn't interfere with the screen too much. Okay, cooking with essential oils. Let's see. There. Okay, so but first we have to kind of go through some of the basics of essential oils and why we're even using them. So number one, I want you to know that using doTerra essential oils are completely safe. They have no side effects, no addictions. They're made from the plants themselves, so they have amazing health benefits that come straight from the earth. They're certified pure therapeutic grade, which just means that they have gone through extreme testing and watching from where they're grown all the way across to where they're here in your bottle, that they are 100% pure and effective. And so, and just kind of one of those tidbits is that using pure essential oils are 50 to 70 times more powerful than even the herbs. So that's pretty amazing to know that. The doTerra essential oils are effective. They provide a lot of internal benefits, and they save cost and with their natural ingredients. So if anyone's new on here, to kind of know why they're so powerful internally, is that oils, the essential oils are oil-based. When you have medicines, they are synthetic. And so they can, and they have water as their base. And so that if you have a bacteria on the outside of the cell, that's where this bacteria grow. Our oils will get that, but the virus, the normal medicines, can you tell I'm so nervous? The normal medicines can't get into the cells where the viruses are. And so the essential oils can actually penetrate the membrane of the cells and be able to work on a cellular level. And so they're powerful inside and out. So if you have any questions, raise your hand or speak up, okay?
I would love to just say the thing I love about that is quite often my kids, I would take them to the doctor before I was into oils, and they would say, oh, they have a virus. There's nothing I can do. It just has to run its course. Where the oils can actually get into the cells, there is something we can do, which helps support our body in getting better.
Yep. Okay. And they are affordable, which I started to allude to a little bit in the one about them being safe, because they are they're cost effective, because it only takes a little bit of amount of an oil to add flavor to any dish. Where let's say that you are making this awesome spaghetti sauce, and you want all of these flavorings in it, and you have to go buy all the different spices in there, or you have them in their jars if you keep up with them. Sometimes it never fails that I'm going to try a fun recipe and I have to go find at least one other herb somewhere. And so then how many times have you used the juice from a lemon, and you only need about a fourth of the lemon for the juice that you need, and then the rest of it gets thrown away? Can you imagine if you have these oils in your home and you need lemon in your recipe? You can get the bottle out and use 1 or 2 drops in your recipe and not have the waste. So you know that, and lemons aren't always in season to be able to get. And so being affordable, you can see how this adds up with if you have this in your home to be able to use. And so there's less waste, it's always there, and you always know that the purity and the potency of it will be consistent through everything that you make. Okay. Jolene, anything?
Nope, sounds fantastic.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. We're going to go to the different types of uses for the essential oils. And the first one is just aromatic. So we all know if you have your oils with you, you might want to take your favorite one. I'm going to grab lemon right now. Put a drop in your hands. Rub it and smell it. And you can feel the effects immediately going throughout your body. And it's the same way with when we're cooking. It's very powerful in cooking because those aromatic smells infuse the whole house full. And so those are the ways that we use it. They're not just nice to add to it, but the smells of it are so, so beautiful. Okay, we can use them internally. These are a convenient and versatile way to use the oils. So as we look at more of this, internally, there's several different ways that we can use them. Cooking is a really good way to use our oils internally, and a natural way of using them in our home, because we already have most of us already have them in our homes. And so if you're using them in the cooking, it's an easy way to get those benefits into our bodies. Using them in water is really powerful. If anyone has their water with them, I encourage you. I should have told you at the beginning, grab a glass of water and get an oil to put in it. But that's a fabulous way to use it. And then putting it a drop under your tongue. A lot of people don't like this because they're afraid of the strong taste or whatever, but it's a really powerful way. And you do it just for a little while and you start to really crave that. Uh-huh. Is there, Jolene, I'm assuming you're looking in the chat.
Yeah, I just know that we get used to something. Quite often I don't like it and I don't like the taste of it. And then, oh my goodness, I learned to love it because of the benefits and how I like things. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And we know that when we put things in our mouth like that, it's a really fast way for it to get to every part, every cell in our body. So I think one of them is I suggest a lot of people using frankincense. And at first, when I started putting that in my mouth, at first I'd have to like figure out how to just get one drop. But an easy way to do it also, I mean, you can't do this as well under your tongue, but a drop in your hand and then lick it. It's better under your tongue for some reason, but however you can get it internally, that way is powerful. Does anyone have a favorite oil that they use internally like this? If you do, just comment and Jolene will let us know.
Yep. And I love to use lime. Lime's one of my favorites. So
Lime is?
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, so the other, let's see.
I love your pictures and your slides. They look fantastic.
Thank you. Okay. Did the intro. Okay, so the topical ways of using the essential oils are, this one was a fun one. Sorry, that's
Yeah, because I burnt myself yesterday while I was canning green beans and I laid down to have a nap and I slept too long and I jumped up to go turn my pressure canner off and I touched the top of the thing as I was in such a hurry. Grab that lavender right away. I use the lavender in the kitchen all the time for my burns because I'm a little bit klutzy. But
thank you.
It does its job.
So that's what I wanted to point out with this one is that topical, we just think about why would you use that in the kitchen? But what she was saying was a perfect example of that. Having them there when you need them for any incidents that happen like that, or how about spraining your wrist when you're just stirring and stirring or lifting something really heavy, have an oil there to help rub on it so you can keep finishing your task. And then for disinfecting, when you need to clean off your counters, when you need to clean your hands, when you need to wash off the fruits and vegetables that you brought home from the store, having those available and ready for you right there in the kitchen where you can grab it is a really powerful way. And all of those are topical ways of using that. So many times we think of it just on our hands, where we might put them wherever on our heads or whatever, but having them for other practical reasons is really important as well. Okay, so why do we want to use these essential oils in cooking? Number one is the flavor enhancement. That's probably the biggest reason for doing it. And you can always count on the same result every time instead of, sometimes all the flavoring and the different companies that you buy them from, you're not sure exactly how strong or how weak they are. But with doTerra oils, from bottle to bottle, they're going to be just as potent and flavorful as you can count on. They're convenient. And I touched on this a little bit before, but they're convenient because you can store the oils where a lot of the herbs and stuff it's hard to get at times, and it's hard to keep them fresh on hand. And especially for me, them not letting them go to waste. So it's very convenient. If I have all my cooking oils up, I can grab the oils that I need instead of hunting for the spice that I bought and forgot where I put it. Sometimes I'm not organized with that part of it. And then the consistency, which we've keep talking about, because we know from bottle to bottle, the same flavors are going to be there. So these are the most powerful reasons why. The other ones are the health benefits that there are with them. And are you like me, that I love to use the oils in every single way that there is, but not all my family like maybe wants to take it in their water, or they said, well, I'm fine, I'll wait, because they just don't want to take the time. Sometimes is what it comes down to. But if we're using it in our cooking, they are getting those health benefits in a natural way. I just think that that's so powerful, because whenever I use them in cooking, they always comment on the flavors being so much more rich, not even knowing why. So what did you do with it, Mom, this time? You know, type of a thing. See if you get any of those kind of comments. And then just there's a lot of versatility with using the oils. Anything that you can think of cooking in the kitchen with flavor enhancement, you can get from the oils, from citrus to spices to herbs to all of them. And then this is also really helpful in this time of day and age when there's so many dietary restrictions, is that using the oils helps give those rich flavors and helps that battle of all the restrictions that are out there now. And the concern about allergies to the oils are almost 99.9% resolved. I mean, you don't have them with the natural oils. And if anyone is experiencing them, I would do a little bit more research and see if there's something else going on. Because like one of them is grapefruit. A lot of people are kind of resistant to trying any of the grapefruit, but the grapefruit from the oil is from the rind of the oil, not from the juice of the oil. And it's the juice that most people have a little bit of a reaction to. But the grapefruit oil is from the rind, and so it's different and usually doesn't cause those same sensitivities.
Yeah, I shared with a neighbor yesterday who came over to learn about the oils. And she just kept saying, no, I have allergies. I have to stay away from this and this and this. And oh my goodness, it is so hard to convince people that these oils are natural. And I think maybe one time somebody had a true reaction to something. Sometimes you have sensitivity to things, and it's because it might be a hot oil like cinnamon or something like that. But the actual having an allergic problem with oils is just not likely. So.
Yep. Thank you. Okay. So, and another part of the why is for using it is just for the aromatic experiences, and because there's such a small amount that are needed for the same result. So that's the last of the why, which we talk about all the time. Okay, so let's talk about how. So we're going to talk about some rules of thumb of using the oils in your cooking, because there are some. How do you measure? If it calls for a tablespoon of this spice, do I use that much oil in it? So we're going to go through this, and if you want a screenshot, or if you want us to send the pictures out a little bit later, these are really helpful in taking away that fear of using them in your kitchen. So, so like this one, the zest of a lemon, a lime, orange, or tangerine or grapefruit can be replaced by 3 to 5 drops of any common essential oil, or of the companion essential oil. So if I were just starting out, I would put in no more than 3 drops. Okay, and we're talking citrus here. And then taste it, and then add just 1 drop after that in tasting each one of them in between, until you get familiar with your taste buds. Okay. And so it's really fun to play with in your water, in frostings, on your cookies, in any of your baking, in your smoothies. So try it, but remember that you need just a little bit. So like we're talking about, you to use a whole lemon to get the zest that you want in a recipe, where this is 3 to 5 drops. Any experience with this?
I have the experience of putting way too much in, but that's when I was brand new, and I was just like, wow, 7 or 8 drops, certainly you need that of peppermint, and it's too much. You just start with fewer and build up. I have a recipe I'm going to share with you at the end that you can screenshot the recipe of potato noodles that Mandy Major made for the doTerra event I did on Saturday. And when she told everybody out loud that she put 7 to 8 drops of ginger in it, I was like, oh dear, and everybody loved it. And I was so busy in charge of the event that I didn't get to taste it till it was over. And when I took it, it was so good. So in this case, and you'll see in the recipe that she said 7 to 8, it was the right amount, and it was absolutely delicious. But that's why it takes experimenting to figure out what's.
But then also cooking is an art of experimenting.
Mm.
And that's where we get some of our best recipes, is try and try and try again. And that's why our recipes that have been handed down are so valuable to us, because we grew up with it. We knew what it tasted like. And so, but just start small and build up until you find what yours is.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And this is a rule of thumb for like the for the herbs. So 1 tablespoon can be replaced by a half a drop to 1 full drop of the companion oil. Does that seem like insane? I mean, consider the difference that we're talking about. But it is very, very true. And so like a half a drop is sometimes hard to get out of there. But if you were to compare it, and it's like, the sample bottles that we give that are like about this big, it's like hitting that once and that much coming out. So that's one way to get a half a drop. And the next slide, I'll show us another one. But a half a drop for 1 tablespoon of herbs or spices. Incredible, isn't it? And then, so you can also use the toothpick. So if for less than 1 teaspoon, like that half a drop that you're going for, you can either use the little bottles and keep those up in your kitchen, or using a toothpick is a really strong one as well. So you can dip the toothpick in the oil, but I find it a little bit better to put a drop in my hand and roll the toothpick in that, and then swirl it in whatever you're adding it to. And then taste the batter or the sauce or whatever you're using. Don't lick the toothpaste. It'll like, you won't be able to taste the rest of your food for a little bit because it's strong. And then taste the sauce or whatever you're putting it into. And if you need a little bit more, then get a new toothpick and do a little bit more oil and do it again until you get to the right consistency that you want. And if you're doing that and you find, like Jolene's friend did, that it ended up being a couple of drops where it should have started out with a toothpick, then write that in your recipe. When using my oils, this is all I need.
Make a note.
Mm-hmm. And then have fun experimenting with it. And if it gets a little bit too strong, how would you fix that, Jolene?
Well, it's a little bit hard to fix. I can remember once my sister Jolene was serving me some ice cream, and she said, I figured this out. You just put a little bit of spearmint, a little bit of peppermint on your ice cream. We grew up stirring it because I just love soft serve ice cream. So you'd stir, 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 and then eat your ice cream as it was soft served. And it was just too much. And there's not a whole lot you can do without adding a whole bunch more ice cream to it. So it's kind of the problem. So experiment with a tiny amount first.
Yeah, that is exactly what I would say as well. But sometimes you can add, like, if it's a sauce, more tomato juice, or you know, but play around, but definitely please do start with a little bit of adding the oil and not a whole lot. Okay, I watching my time. Okay, here's a hot tip for the day. So when you're starting a new habit, it is hard to remember. How many of you guys like, oh yeah, I'm going to do that, and then you completely forget
Always.
what it is that you're doing or where it's at, and then you don't have the time to go get it. And then you later you go, oh, I could have used that spice, that oil instead of that spice there. So did you know that you can, in your accounts, you can get stickers? I think they're like $1.50 or maybe $2 with the oils that you can put on the top of your lids if you haven't done that yet at all. And so get these stickers and put them on the counterpart of the oil. So if you're on your thyme spice, put a sticker of thyme on that. It's going to be a doTerra sticker. So when you go to get that spice to use, you'll remember that you have an oil that you can use with it. Now that's true of all of this different stuff. The stuff in your medicine cabinet, the stuff that you're using in your bathrooms at night, you know, by your bed. If I instead of aspirin, I go to deep blue polyphenols. So I would put a sticker on my aspirin that I have something different that I can try now too, or
I
that
love
people
that.
in the house, they would remember, oh, there is something that mom's been saying. Maybe I'll try it this time. And you never know where you'll find
That
that.
is brilliant. I have never even thought of that, but I love that.
Not fun? Okay. So just going with a little bit of the profiles of the different flavors. For your citruses, you want to, you usually use fresh. The most natural benefit will not be cooked out. And when using spices, they're the greatest for baking. And for herbs, they're used more for cooking. And with these two especially, and a lot with the florals, the toothpick is the best way to start. The citrus, I don't ever use the toothpick with it because it's a whole different profile of how it's used. But florals, I kept on thinking, why, but when would you use florals? How because it's not one that I usually go to eat. And it is less used for cooking, but it is used a lot in desserts and jellies and teas. And I went, oh, yeah, that's when I've had it before, or, you know, candies, things like that. And so it's kind of fun to have on hand and try it in your desserts for your family next time. Like, I think one of everyone's favorite is peppermint in the brownies.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really good. And Jolene probably has some stuff with the recipe for that at the end, or
Well,
I know
and I'll
you
tell
do
you
that.
what, just Mandy on Saturday also put wild orange into brownies.
Oh, that would be really good.
I was shocked at how delicious that was. A really funny thing happened. We did 2 sessions of our workshop on Saturday, and we were at a retirement home. And in the middle of the 2 courses, they had a big bingo night. So we had to take everything, or bingo activity. So we had to take everything down, and they said we could use this one countertop. So we left everything there for our second workshop, which was brownies all separated in little bites, and some potato noodles that I'm going to give you the recipe for. And the funniest thing happened, because when their bingo ended, they just assumed that somebody had left them dessert. Brownies were gone, and a bunch of the potato noodles were gone, and they just helped themselves. But I was so happy to know she had even put the ingredients written on the paper plates, you know? So I thought, no worries. If somebody had, you know, allergic reaction to potato noodles, I don't know, but it was written on the paper plates that she had prepared what was in them. But just tickled me pink that they got to enjoy that. But orange in brownies, oh my goodness, they left one brownie piece there. I'm like, well, I'm just eating that one because I didn't get one this morning, and it was awesome.
That's awesome. Thank you. And then one thing that I forget a lot is the mints, and they're perfect for summer. So use them in your summer dishes, in your summer salads, in your beverages, and just totally enjoy that. Let's see, I'm going to go back. There was one part that I wanted to make sure to show this. When we were talking about being able to take the essential oils internally, when we talk about using all of these oils in our food and internally, we're not talking about any other company's oils than doTerra's. Always make sure that you know what you're getting, and if they're safe for internal use, because it hasn't been always that's been true because of all of the fillers that are used in them, and where they're grown and how they're grown. But so like bergamot mint was one of the oils for it was a free oil if you did 125 pp this month. And I was going, oh, that I had never experienced it. And so one of the first things I did was I looked on the back here, and I see no supplemental facts. I see a QR code that shows me the purity from where it was grown to where it's delivered, that you can trace the bottle, but there's no supplemental facts on it. So I would not just, without thinking, put this in any of my food or my cooking or my water or anything. I would diffuse it big time, but take lemon. And if you go to the back, can you see? I should have made a picture of this. You can see supplemental facts. That means that it's even with the American laws, that the purity is good enough and pure enough for it to be used internally. Okay, is there any questions about any of that? That's how you know and can be assured that the proper testing and the proper documentation, and we're going to have more and more oils that have scientific studies and shown on them about their uses in all sorts of ways that way.
I'd love to jump in there. So I've been doing doTerra 10 years. doTerra's been around for 16 years. Their whole purpose is to be pure, pure, pure. That's why they started the company. So lavender, I'm not sure it was last convention or the one before, they said has finally been approved by FDA because the studies and the research doTerra is 100% consistently doing finally had enough years where it showed that it was pure within a certain percentage. It's like, I don't know, 3 or 4%. And it just takes time. And oil by oil with doTerra, I'm sure will be approved for all of these purposes. We are so blessed that doTerra does all that work. And they do all the research, all the scientific stuff. There's scientific research galore. If you're scientific-y and want it, it's on aromaticscience.com. And you can see what doTerra does. I have quite often somebody who knows that I've done the oils for a long period of time, and they'll say, Jolene, if there was just some scientific backing to all of this. I'm like, oh, there is. And so for those who are interested, please know that it is done. The research is done. The science is there. They have so many scientists that are doing this and giving us the pure product. Anyway, I get on a little soapbox, but I love
that. That's why we're both doing it together. With that, is there any way you can put that in the comments or in a follow-up afterwards, the address to that?
You bet. I'll do that.
Because I'd really suggest that you guys keep that on hand because that's really powerful when you have doubts or you have someone that you meet that are skeptical and want to see the science behind it. For those who are science people and love that kind of stuff, they can geek out for years on the stuff that they have there. And so very, very powerful and so grateful. It gives me a lot of confidence when I know that. Okay, so we did the hot tip. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. Okay, so your first challenge from today's class is to try an oil in your water. So has anyone gotten up and gotten a glass of water and tried something in it yet while we've been talking?
I did it yesterday.
You did?
Lemon in my water bottle.
Okay. And what do you like about that, Heather?
Well, I'm on a new medication that could affect like my liver and kidneys, and that one can help with it. So that's why I put it in.
That very, very good. So that's a perfect example of internal use for our health benefits that is easy as putting a drop in your water. Do you use more than one drop in your bottle of water?
It is a taller glass, so I usually do 2 or 3.
Okay. And you'll find what you like with it. And
Yeah.
I think that the more that you use it, the more you crave that flavor as well.
I agree. I like lime in mine, and somebody suggested to me once to put a dash of salt in there, and I'm amazed how it enhances the flavor too. And I use Himalayan salt, so it's just a dash of salt with a lemon, or lime, which is my favorite. So
That's awesome. One thing I want to point out here is that you don't want to use plastic. Your citrus oils, well, a lot of the oils will eat through the plastic or degrade them. Lemon is the fastest one that does that. So bottled is always better when you're going to drink your water.
glass
Okay.
or stainless steel. Yep.
Or stainless steel. Okay, so can you guys put in the comments what oil you want to go try in your water today?
Ooh, someone said lemon and cinnamon bark. That sounds awesome.
Who was that? Did whoever that?
Whoever says iPhone. I'm not sure who iPhone is.
Okay. Would they mind putting in there or?
Jolene, me, Shirley.
Oh, it's
Okay.
Shirley. So what? Go ahead. What did you want to say, Jolene?
I use this. I use the cinnamon bark because of the high blood sugar, and I'm hoping that'll help take care of that.
Nice.
Awesome.
Tasty.
But I can't even drink my water anymore without it because that cinnamon flavor is just, I don't know, it's just really good. And then lemon.
Is brilliant.
I'd never thought of that. That's awesome. Are there any others?
When someone wants to try lime now, ooh, Laura says she likes digestin. So she says it tastes like a Thin Mint. So you're one of those people that loves digestin. I've had an upset stomach the last 2 nights, and I put digestin on to calm my stomach down. It does it like that, but I just don't like the smell. So if you love it and it speaks to you, why not? It's going to give you great benefits, especially if you love it.
That is awesome. It is a strong one for people to use, especially if they need that more often. It's nice just to have that throughout the day and being taken. Any others? Okay. My challenge is that you try something in your water, maybe even something new, or if it's already working for you, then give yourself a high five at something that you've really been able to, a treasure that you have found. So, because this will become that in your home as you use it in that way. Okay, so the last part of what we're talking about is trying new recipes. And so I'm not putting a lot of them up here to screenshot because if you want them, we'll just send them to you in a, whole email. Sorry. But what I'm doing with showing you some of these different slides is to get you excited and I want your paper out, and I want you to comment in the comments what way you're most excited to incorporate and try out one of these different ones. And if there's a specific recipe that you want, like right now, write it down, put it in the comments, and we'll get it to you as quickly as we can after this. But so I'll go through them a little bit slow so you can look at this is where I want you, this is your thinking and how you're going to incorporate what we've talked about. And it needs to fit most with you. So these are a lot of recipes that I got a lot from the doTerra side and friends from doTerra. But there's a lot of other places that you can get them, like Instagram, Facebook, YouTube channels that are doing cooking with the oils. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of places to explore once you decide where you want to like give it a try. So it's really easy to incorporate them in dips and dressings and spices, sauces. Putting them on apple slices.
Love this.
You get that on guard into your kids very naturally, and they'll say, "Where did you ever buy these apples?"
Yes. And you know how Shirley said she can't stand water without the oils in it. I feel that way about apples. I love apples. But when you experience On Guard, and this one had a lemon in there, I'm going to try that. And I use just the tiniest bit of fractionated coconut oil, and then it just helps it spread through my bowl of apples. It is so good. And you know, you're getting all the benefits of those oils at the same time. And yeah, love it.
Yep. Okay, how about this is one that I like is in the guacamole and hummus. How many of you guys like hummus?
Yeah.
This is a really good one. To use seasonings as a marinade, or seasonings and marinade, they're separate, is really powerful. I always wonder, I'm not a good meat cooker, never been really strong with meat, but when they're seasoned right, I can understand why people crave meat when it's done right. I just don't ever cook it right. Here's a really good one for a rosemary rub and chipotle seasoning. It's very popular. Roasted marinara sauce. I use most of mine in cooking sauces. That's more what I'm better at. And I love using it in the sauces. So that's just a few that I really fast threw up there because there's a whole lot more
Oh yeah.
available. I have pages and pages here of recipes that I snapshot. But now it's time for you to practice. And one of the best places to go, and that will give you, we just have been able to do a snapshot of the power of cooking with essential oils. This book is in the ebooks on your doTerra website, and it has like pages and pages. Let's see, it has 21 pages of recipes and how to use them and why to use them. And all of the information that you could want that doTerra has put together. And you can print it off or just have it on your computer to look at. But this is what I'd like you to do is to find some recipes and then share them with either me or Jolene. And so we can let other people know of some of the successes that you've had and the enjoyment and comments. That's what we love the most is the comments of what people say about your food when they have no idea what you did differently. So
And what I'm going to do is put the link to this cooking ebook into the chat. I'm trying to find it real quick so that I can put it into the chat. Because that way you can just click on it and go to, there we go.
Okay. So now I also wanted to open it up for a little bit for sharing time of ways that you have used them and been successful. Do we have a minute for that?
You bet.
Does anyone have any?
I'd like to share something that I learned recently.
Okay.
I've been going to a new chiropractor who has a massage therapist in his office, and she is amazingly smart. She knows so much. But anyway, she suggested to me that an electrolyte is more important than collagen or something like that. And I was taking the new electrolyte product from doTerra for the last over a month now. And I've been in Utah for a month. And usually when I go up there, I'm packed with chapstick and lotion because I just get so dried out up there. And being on that electrolyte product, I never even use chapstick, much less.
What?
Yeah, it kept my skin so hydrated that I didn't even need chapstick in Utah.
Oh my goodness, that is brilliant. I'm writing that one down.
That's awesome.
But she said physiologically, most people don't think to use an electrolyte. They use that when they're really active in sports or something like that to replace. But our bodies need that even when we're not actively engaged.
I love it. Which flavor do you like of the Recharge electrolytes? There's
I only tried the lemon lime, which isn't my favorite.
Yeah,
Is there
that one.
another
There
flavor?
is another flavor. Is it strawberry,
Berry.
watermelon, something like that?
Yeah.
It's not as tart to me, and I really like the other flavor. I know people that prefer the lemon lime, but I just was curious.
Are you talking about the
Recharge electrolytes.
okay? Because
Yep.
I knew that there was another flavor in the
In the Meta Power.
collagen,
Right. This
but
is
I
the
did not
electrolyte.
realize that about the electrolyte. I will try the new flavor this month.
You might like that better. Yeah. I love
'Cause
it.
I really like that pomegranate one in the.
Me too. And they said it's not available, but I bet you anything they'll make it a permanent product soon.
I'm
Because
hoping.
it was too popular. I'm missing it. I have like half box left of my pomegranate. I'm like, "Ooh,
Yeah.
I gotta go back to the other." Okay, I'm gonna share. Is it okay, Jolene, if I share my screen to show a couple of things real quick?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay. So I have these ginger noodles. Can you guys see that screen? Are you seeing my ginger noodle recipe? Jolene, are you seeing the ginger noodle recipe?
I
Okay.
am.
Okay, so I just made this up with a picture of it because Mandy made this on Saturday, and the cool thing about it was it's kind of a summery salad that you cook the potato noodles, but it just sat there all day. It didn't need to be warmed up to be eaten. It did just fine sitting out before we ate it. I just loved it. And so she mixes sesame oil and soy sauce 1-to-1, added quite a bit of ginger, she said, and then just grated carrots, cucumbers, and green onions into it. It was so delicious and simple. So you might want to take a screenshot of that one and try that one. And then the other one that I just happened to, I brought it that day, which was really good that I was able to have something when the brownies got eaten by the residents. I happened to bring some of these in case Mandy didn't come through. So I had these protein balls, and doTerra makes a protein powder. And so I like to put a drop of cinnamon in it because I'm a cinnamon gal. I just love cinnamon. But this is an amazing recipe to have a healthy filling because of the protein powder, but yet it gives you a little sweet to have. And so that's just another fun recipe that I wanted to share. All right. Thanks for letting me share.
Yep. So there's been a lot of good information. I hope that there's been something that has sparked your interest and made you more comfortable with giving this a try, and to have leaving with something intentionally that you're going to do. So thank you.
Thank you, Jolene. And Heather put in the, and I put a couple of links in the chat if you want to grab those real quick and just click on those so you can look over some doTerra cookbooks that they have. But Heather put in there, she adds essential oil to frosting for cookies to flavor them. I thought that was really smart. I have not tried that. And whether you make your frosting from scratch or buy it, you could add the oil to it. So I'm not sure anybody makes it from scratch anymore. I still make it from scratch because that's how I grew up. But once in a while I buy it there. Next month, on the last day of July, is the day that our master class will fall. I'm doing a class about starting the school year off right. So a little bit about our immune system and protecting that, but also because it's back to school time, I'm going to be talking a little bit about some challenges, learning challenges that children and youth sometimes have. I've got a lot of friends who are finding success with the oils with their children that have learning challenges. So I'm really excited to share some of the information I've collected for you there. So that's our next master class. Please plan on coming and joining us. And thank you for coming today. And Jolene, thank you for such a wealth of knowledge and great tips to encourage us to use our oils internally. So thanks for coming, everybody. Have a great day.